In today's digital age, where information flows ceaselessly and public figures are scrutinized relentlessly, certain moments transcend the ordinary, capturing the collective attention of millions. One such moment unfolded recently, sending shockwaves through media outlets and social platforms alike. The White House press briefing room, bathed in the sterile glow of overhead lights, rows of reporters sit poised, their expressions a blend of skepticism and anticipation. The air is thick with the unspoken tension of a nation divided. As the cameras rolled and pens hovered above notepads, the atmosphere was charged with expectancy. The press briefing was about to commence, and the nation's eyes were fixed on this room, seeking answers amidst the cacophony of conflicting narratives. Karoline Leavitt, the youngest press secretary in White House history, stepped up to the podium. Her presence exuded a blend of youthful energy and unwavering confidence, a beacon of the administration's resolve. Dressed in a tailored ensemble that spoke of both authority and approachability, she embodied the administration's commitment to bridging generational divides. Karoline Leavitt. Good afternoon, everyone. I am here to provide clarity on recent developments and address your questions. From the sea of reporters, Karoline Collins of CNN, known for her incisive questioning, rose to speak. Her demeanor reflected the gravity of the moment, her eyes locked onto Leavitt with unwavering focus. Karoline Collins, Madam Press Secretary, President Trump has claimed that some of President Biden's pardons are void due to their execution without his direct knowledge. Can you provide evidence to support this assertion? The room fell into a hushed silence, the weight of the question hanging heavily in the air. Reporters exchanged glances, sensing the potential magnitude of the exchange that was about to unfold. Karoline Leavitt. Karoline, the president's concerns stem from reports suggesting that certain pardons were executed using auto pen without President Biden's direct oversight. We believe this raises legitimate questions about their validity. The tension in the room escalated, the stakes of the conversation becoming increasingly apparent. The nation's trust in its institutions teetered on the edge, and this exchange had the potential to sway public opinion profoundly. Karoline Collins, is there concrete evidence to substantiate these claims, or are they based on speculation? Leavitt's gaze remained steady, her voice unwavering. Karoline Leavitt, we are currently reviewing the available information, and will provide comprehensive evidence as it becomes available. Transparency is paramount, and we are committed to ensuring that all actions taken are in strict adherence to constitutional protocols. The gravity of the situation was palpable. The implications of these allegations extended beyond partisan politics, striking at the very core of governmental integrity. The public's faith in its leaders hung in the balance, and the outcome of this discourse would undoubtedly reverberate across the nation. What transpired next left the press corps scrambling, as unforeseen revelations began to surface, challenging preconceived narratives and prompting a reevaluation of the facts at hand. By the time you hear what was unveiled, you will understand why this clip shattered headlines worldwide. Stay with us as we delve deeper into this unfolding story, dissecting each development and exploring its far-reaching consequences. Your understanding of these events is crucial, as they may very well shape the future of our nation's governance. The White House press briefing room, a space steeped in history and power. The room buzzes with anticipation as journalists prepare for the day's briefing. Karoline Leavitt, a rising star born on August 24, 1998, in Atkinson, New Hampshire. Karoline Leavitt's journey to the White House is a testament to ambition and dedication. Raised in a Catholic family, she attended St. Anselm College on a softball scholarship, majoring in political science. During her college years, she interned at Fox News, laying the foundation for her future in political communications. Leavitt's political career accelerated rapidly. She served as an assistant press secretary under Kayleigh McEnany during President Trump's first term. Post-administration, she became the communications director for Representative Elise Stefanik. In 2022, she launched a congressional bid in New Hampshire's 1st District, winning the Republican primary but losing in the general election to incumbent Chris Pappas. Her resilience and unwavering support for conservative values caught the attention of President Trump, leading to her appointment as the national press secretary for his 2024 campaign. Following his re-election, Leavitt was appointed as the White House press secretary on January 20, 2025, making history as the youngest individual to hold the position. Opposite Leavitt stands Karoline Collins, a prominent journalist known for her incisive questioning and relentless pursuit of truth. Collins began her career at the Daily Caller before joining CNN, where she quickly rose through the ranks to become the network's chief White House correspondent. Her reputation for holding public officials accountable has made her both respected and, at times, controversial. The relationship between the Trump administration and the press has been fraught with tension. Leavitt, embodying the administration's combative stance, has often found herself at odds with mainstream media outlets. Her decision to skip the White House Correspondents' Association dinner, citing the organization's exclusion of new media and independent journalists, exemplifies her confrontational approach. In a notable incident, Leavitt clashed with New York Times journalist Peter Baker over comparisons between President Trump's media tactics and those of Russian President Vladimir Putin. She dismissed Baker's assertions as hysterical, accusing the media of bias and sensationalism. Within this intricate web of politics and media stands Anna Kelly, the deputy press secretary under Leavitt. Kelly's journey to the White House is unconventional. Hailing from Fairfax, Virginia, she attended Auburn University, where she won the title of Miss State Fair of Virginia in 2019. Her platform focused on youth political engagement, a cause she continues to champion. Kelly's tenure has not been without controversy. She has been vocal on social media about her political views, often defending the administration's stance against what she perceives as media bias. Her insights provide a glimpse into the internal dynamics of the press office and the challenges they face in navigating a hostile media landscape. The American public's trust in the media has been on a decline. A 2023 Pew Research Center study revealed that 74% of Americans believe the media favors one side, underscoring the deep-seated skepticism toward mainstream news outlets. This erosion of trust has paved the way for alternative media sources to gain traction, challenging traditional narratives and offering platforms for voices like Leavitt's. Beyond her professional accolades, Leavitt's personal life offers insights into her motivations. Her marriage to Nicholas Riccio, a real estate developer 32 years her senior, has been described as an atypical love story. Their relationship, which began during her 2022 congressional campaign, culminated in a wedding in January 2025. Leavitt's background, including her time working at her family's ice cream stand and her Catholic education, has shaped her worldview. These experiences have instilled in her a strong work ethic and a commitment to conservative principles, driving her to challenge established norms and advocate for a reimagined media landscape. The stage is set for a confrontation that encapsulates the current political and media climate. Leavitt, with her assertive demeanor and unwavering commitment to the administration's agenda, stands opposite Collins, a journalist dedicated to probing the truth. Their impending exchange is more than a mere clash of personalities. It represents the broader struggle between a government seeking to redefine its relationship with the press and a media establishment fighting to maintain its role as the fourth estate. As the briefing room fills with reporters, the air thick with anticipation, one cannot help but sense that the events about to unfold will reverberate far beyond these walls, influencing public perception and the future of media-government relations. The White House press briefing room, bathed in the sterile glow of overhead lights, rows of seats filled with journalists, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of laptop screens, cameras poised, lenses trained on the podium where the emblem of the White House stands prominent. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation. Reporters murmur among themselves, exchanging whispers about potential headlines. The door adjacent to the podium opens, and Karoline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, steps out with a confident stride. Her tailored suit exudes authority. Her expression is one of composed determination. She approaches the podium, adjusts the microphone, and surveys the room with a measured gaze. "Good afternoon," she begins, her voice clear and unwavering. "Today I will address your questions following the President's recent policy announcements." Hands shoot up across the room, a sea of eager inquiries. Among them, Karoline Collins of CNN stands out, her demeanor assertive, eyes fixed intently on Leavitt. Recognizing Collins, Leavitt nods, granting her the floor. "Thank you, Karoline," Collins starts, her tone measured yet probing. "The president has claimed that some of President Biden's pardons are void due to their execution without his direct knowledge. Can you provide concrete evidence to support this assertion?" A palpable tension grips the room. Reporters lean forward, sensing the gravity of the exchange. Leavitt maintains her composure, her eyes locking onto Collins. "Ms. Collins," Leavitt responds, her voice steady, "the president's concerns stem from reports suggesting that certain pardons were executed using auto-pen without President Biden's direct oversight. We urge investigative journalists like yourself to delve into these claims and uncover the truth." Collins, undeterred, presses on. "Respectfully, is it not the administration's responsibility to substantiate such serious allegations before presenting them to the public?" A murmur of agreement ripples through the press corps. Leavitt's gaze narrows slightly, a hint of steel entering her demeanor. "The role of the press," Leavitt counters, "is to investigate and report facts. We have highlighted an area of concern. It is incumbent upon the media to pursue the truth diligently." The exchange intensifies, the atmosphere electric. Collins, sensing the weight of the moment, refuses to relent. "Without concrete evidence," she asserts, "such claims could be perceived as attempts to undermine the previous administration. How does the president respond to such criticisms?" Leavitt's expression hardens, her posture erect. The room holds its collective breath, awaiting her retort. "The president," Leavitt declares, "is committed to transparency and accountability. Raising pertinent questions about potential irregularities is not undermining. It is ensuring that our nation's highest office operates with integrity." A brief silence ensues, the air thick with unspoken tension. Collins opens her mouth to retort, but Leavitt raises a hand, her demeanor commanding. "Ms. Collins," she interjects, "while we value the press's role in our democracy, it is imperative to approach such matters with objectivity and a commitment to uncovering the truth, rather than perpetuating unfounded narratives." The power dynamic shifts perceptibly. Leavitt's assertiveness places Collins on the defensive, the latter's confidence wavering momentarily. In the ensuing pause, other reporters seize the opportunity, their voices overlapping as they vie for attention. Leavitt selects Josh Boak of the Associated Press, acknowledging him with a nod. "Karoline," Boak begins, "the president's recent policy shift from advocating tax cuts to proposing tariffs has raised concerns about potential tax hikes. How does the administration reconcile this change with its commitment to reducing the tax burden on Americans?" Leavitt's demeanor softens slightly, appreciative of the policy-focused inquiry. "Josh," she replies, "the administration's tariff proposals are strategic measures aimed at addressing trade imbalances and protecting American industries. These tariffs are targeted and temporary, designed to encourage fair trade practices without imposing a long-term tax burden on our citizens." Boak, however, is not fully satisfied. "But tariffs, by nature, can lead to increased costs for consumers. How does the administration plan to mitigate this potential impact?" Leavitt's gaze remains steady, her tone measured. "We are implementing complementary measures," she explains, "such as tax credits and subsidies for affected industries, to ensure that any short-term costs do not adversely affect American consumers. Our priority is to bolster domestic production and secure economic prosperity." The room buzzes with activity, reporters typing furiously, capturing every word. Leavitt's adept handling of the questions begins to shift the narrative, her composure and clarity resonating. Suddenly, Jeff Cellini of CNN interjects, his voice cutting through the ambient noise. "Karoline, regarding the president's recent comments on air traffic control staffing, does he believe it is safe for Americans to fly commercially?" Leavitt turns her attention to Cellini, her expression unflinching. "Jeff," she responds, "the president has full confidence in the safety of our aviation system. He acknowledges concerns about staffing and is committed to addressing them to maintain the highest safety standards." Cellini presses further. "If there are concerns about staffing, should Americans be worried about flying?" Leavitt's eyes narrow slightly, her patience tested. "The administration," she states firmly, "is proactively enhancing staffing protocols to ensure continued safety." Americans can trust that their well-being is our top priority. The exchange underscores the administration's challenges in balancing transparency with public assurance. Leavitt's measured responses aim to project confidence while acknowledging areas for improvement. Amid the flurry of questions, Anna Kelly, the deputy press secretary, stands at the periphery, observing intently. The confrontation between White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt and CNN's Kaitlan Collins during a recent press briefing sent shockwaves through the media landscape, igniting debates about press freedom, media bias, and the evolving dynamics between the government and the press. The recent confrontation between White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt and CNN's Kaitlan Collins during a press briefing has sparked immediate and varied reactions across the media landscape. Conservative outlets lauded Leavitt's assertiveness, portraying her as a defender against perceived media bias. For instance, the New York Post highlighted the exchange, emphasizing Leavitt's firm stance in response to Collins's questioning. In contrast, liberal media criticized Leavitt's approach, viewing it as an attempt to undermine journalistic inquiry. Mediaite reported on the incident, noting Collins' persistent questioning and Leavitt's decision to cut her off, which some interpreted as evasive. Social media platforms became arenas for public debate, with hashtags like #StandWithKaitlan and Defend the Press trending among those supporting Collins, while a Leavitt strikes back and fake news exposed were used by supporters of Leavitt. This polarization reflects the broader national divide regarding media trust and political allegiance. The incident has also prompted discussions within journalistic circles about press freedom and the evolving relationship between the media and the current administration. As the story continues to unfold, it underscores the complexities and tensions inherent in the dynamic between government officials and the press. The recent confrontation between White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt and CNN's Kaitlan Collins has ignited significant internal debates within news organizations. Journalists and editors are grappling with the implications of the exchange, reflecting on their roles and strategies in the current media landscape. In the aftermath, discussions have emerged about the balance between assertive questioning and maintaining access to key political figures. Some journalists argue that persistent questioning is essential for holding power accountable, while others caution that overly aggressive tactics might jeopardize relationships and limit future information flow. Editors are also reassessing their coverage strategies. The incident has prompted a reevaluation of how to approach press briefings, especially when interactions become contentious. There is a growing recognition of the need to train reporters in handling confrontations effectively, ensuring that journalistic integrity is upheld without escalating tensions unnecessarily. Furthermore, the exchange has sparked conversations about media bias and public perception. News organizations are acutely aware of the polarized environment and are contemplating how their reporting might be perceived by different audience segments. This introspection includes examining whether their coverage inadvertently reinforces existing biases or contributes to further polarization. Overall, the incident serves as a catalyst for self-reflection within newsrooms, prompting a deeper examination of journalistic practices, the dynamics of media-government relations, and the evolving expectations of the public. The recent confrontations between White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt and CNN's Kaitlan Collins have ignited a firestorm of public backlash and a frenzy across social media platforms. These exchanges have not only spotlighted the tensions between the current administration and the press, but have also polarized public opinion, reflecting the deep ideological divides within the country. During a press briefing, Collins pressed National Security Advisor Mike Waltz on President Trump's assertion that Ukraine initiated the conflict with Russia. As Collins attempted to follow up, Leavitt intervened, stating, "You just had two questions, Kaitlan," before redirecting to another reporter. On social media, the incident quickly became a trending topic. Supporters of Leavitt praised her for maintaining control of the briefing and accused Collins of exhibiting bias. Conversely, Collins's supporters criticized Leavitt's actions as an attempt to stifle legitimate journalistic inquiry. This digital discourse mirrored the nation's ideological divide, with individuals reinforcing their pre-existing beliefs. The incident also prompted discussions about media bias and press freedom. Some viewed Leavitt's actions as indicative of the administration's broader strategy to control the narrative and limit critical questioning. Others saw Collins' persistent questioning as emblematic of a press corps unwilling to accept official statements without scrutiny. In summary, the confrontations between Leavitt and Collins have not only highlighted the fraught relationship between the press and the administration, but have also served as a catalyst for broader debates about media bias, press freedom, and the role of journalism in holding power accountable. The recent confrontations between White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt and CNN's Karoline Collins have sparked significant political ramifications, underscoring the strained relationship between the current administration and the press. These exchanges have not only highlighted the administration's approach to media interactions, but have also influenced public perception and political discourse. During a press briefing, Collins questioned National Security Advisor Mike Waltz regarding President Trump's assertion that Ukraine initiated the conflict with Russia. When Collins attempted a follow-up, Leavitt intervened, stating, "You just had two questions, Caitlin," before redirecting to another reporter. This incident has had several political implications. The administration's handling of press inquiries, particularly the abrupt cutoff of a seasoned journalist, has raised concerns about transparency and press freedom. Critics argue that such actions may deter rigorous journalism, while supporters believe it demonstrates control over the administration's narrative. Public perception. The polarized reactions to the exchange reflect the nation's deep ideological divides. Supporters of the administration view Leavitt's actions as a necessary stance against perceived media bias, whereas opponents see it as an attempt to suppress critical questioning. Political discourse. The confrontation has fueled debates about the role of the press in holding government officials accountable. It has prompted discussions on social media and among political commentators regarding the balance between respectful discourse and assertive journalism. In summary, the interactions between Leavitt and Collins have not only affected media-government relations but have also contributed to broader conversations about transparency, accountability, and the dynamics of political communication in a deeply divided society. The escalating confrontations between the White House and prominent media outlets have profound implications for public trust in the media. Recent actions, such as President Trump's refusal to engage with NBC News reporters, labeling them as discredited, highlight the administration's contentious stance toward traditional news organizations. Additionally, the White House's decision to exclude Associated Press journalists from presidential events due to disputes over naming conventions further strains this relationship. These developments contribute to a polarized media environment, where accusations of bias and retaliatory measures become commonplace. As the administration seeks greater control over media access, exemplified by its intent to determine press pool composition, concerns arise about the erosion of journalistic independence. Such dynamics can lead to public skepticism regarding media credibility, as audiences may perceive news coverage as either adversarial or overly compliant. In this climate, fostering a transparent and open dialogue between the press and the administration is crucial to maintaining public trust. Ensuring that journalists can operate without undue restrictions or favoritism is essential for a healthy democracy, where the media serves its role as a watchdog and informant to the public. The White House has recently undertaken significant changes to press briefing protocols, reflecting an evolving relationship with the media. In January 2025, Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt introduced a new media seat in the briefing room, designated for ideologically diverse outlets such as Axios and Breitbart. This initiative aims to adapt to the shifting media landscape by acknowledging the rise of alternative news sources and addressing declining trust in traditional media. Further, adjustments include the administration's decision to directly select reporters for presidential events, a departure from the long-standing practice where the White House Correspondents Association managed press pool compositions. This change has raised concerns about potential biases in media access and the implications for journalistic independence. Additionally, the White House's move to bar the Associated Press from key areas, following disputes over terminology, has intensified debates about press freedom and the administration's influence over media narratives. Collectively, these protocol revisions underscore a pivotal moment in press-government relations, prompting discussions on maintaining transparency, ensuring equitable media access, and upholding the principles of a free press within a democratic society. The recent alterations in White House press protocols under President Trump's administration have profound long-term implications for media-government relations. By assuming control over press pool selections, traditionally managed by the White House Correspondents Association, WHCA, the administration challenges established norms of journalistic autonomy. This shift raises concerns about potential biases in media access and the erosion of an independent press's role in holding the government accountable. The introduction of a new media seat in the briefing room, accommodating independent journalists, podcasters, and social media influencers, reflects an effort to diversify media representation. While this inclusion acknowledges evolving media landscapes, it also risks sidelining traditional outlets, potentially diminishing the depth and rigor of political reporting. The administration's decision to exclude certain media outlets from press rotations, such as the removal of HuffPost, signals a concerning trend toward selective media engagement. This practice may lead to self-censorship among journalists, undermining the press's watchdog function and limiting public access to unbiased information. Collectively, these changes may erode public trust in both the media and the government, fostering skepticism and polarization. To preserve democratic principles, it is imperative to maintain transparent and equitable media access, ensuring that the press can operate without undue influence or restriction. As the dust settled from the intense confrontation between White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt and CNN's Caitlin Collins, the media landscape buzzed with analyses and speculations. News outlets dissected every moment, social media platforms were ablaze with debates, and public opinion seemed more polarized than ever. However, amidst this cacophony, an unexpected development unfolded that would leave both the administration and the public reeling. Late one evening, as Leavitt reviewed the day's events in her office, her secure line rang, a call from an unidentified number. On the other end was a whistleblower from within the administration, someone deeply embedded yet previously unnoticed. This insider revealed that the confrontation with Collins was not merely a spontaneous clash, but part of a calculated strategy, orchestrated by senior officials to divert attention from a brewing scandal involving foreign policy missteps. The plan was to create a media spectacle, drawing the press and public's focus away from the administration's errors. The whistleblower, a trusted aide, expressed remorse for their involvement and provided evidence, emails, meeting transcripts, and strategic memos detailing the manipulation. This betrayal from within the administration's ranks was shocking, revealing a deliberate attempt to undermine the press's role and manipulate public perception. Simultaneously, an independent journalist from a small but reputable news outlet received an anonymous tip about the internal plot. This journalist, previously sidelined in major political coverage, seized the opportunity to investigate. Their exposé unveiled the administration's tactics, leading to a public outcry and calls for accountability. The revelation not only implicated senior officials, but also highlighted the vulnerability of democratic institutions to manipulation. As the nation grappled with these revelations, questions loomed. How deep did the conspiracy run? Would there be legal repercussions for those involved? Could the public trust be restored? The story concluded with Leavitt receiving another anonymous message hinting at further undisclosed plots within the administration, leaving her and the audience pondering the extent of the deceit. This narrative underscores the critical importance of a free and vigilant press in safeguarding democracy. It challenges viewers to reflect on the susceptibility of political systems to internal corruption and the essential role of transparency and accountability. In an era where information is both a tool and a weapon, the story serves as a poignant reminder of the need for integrity, courage, and vigilance in both governance and journalism. As the credits roll, viewers are left with a profound challenge to remain informed, question narratives, and uphold the principles of truth and justice in their communities. The open-ended nature of the story invites contemplation on individual responsibility and the collective power of an engaged citizenry in confronting and preventing the erosion of democratic values. In crafting such narratives, writers can draw inspiration from real-world events and storytelling techniques that leave a lasting impact. For instance, the political thriller series 0 Day employs unexpected twists and open-ended conclusions to engage viewers, prompting them to reflect on contemporary issues and the complexities of governance. In a world where truth is often obscured by those in power, your vigilance is the key to uncovering reality. If you're ready to challenge the narratives fed to you and seek the stories that others fear to tell, join us. Subscribe now, because the next revelation awaits, and it might just be the one they don't want you to see.